I followed a vein to get to where I am now, but these pieces of quartz are showing very promising sign. Do you see the striations? We're getting some defined terminations in the vugs of quartz. Gonna continue on this trajectory, translucency coming through. This is everything you'd hope to see, but will it produce heavy iron here? Oh yes. I'm gonna take this to my buddy.
This is a much better face. You found that at that quartz?
Yep, right at that outcrop.
Awesome, we're gonna have to go look at that.
A beautiful day rock hunting, and we are on a slope that is absolutely loaded in a waterfall of float. It leads up to a bull quartz outcrop above. Worth investigating, checking the contacts. We're finding terminated faces here, and this is the first fully formed terminated crystal that I found. I put it back, I only flipped it halfway. I don't even know how good it is, but check this out. It's the most complete so far. That's it. That's exactly what we're looking for right here. Now, only to find its origin, which Travis just mentioned, it complicates things because we have a big bull quartz bluff right above us. Check this one out, bro.
That's sweet.
Oh, it actually is complete. Yeah, it's actually a full tip.
You got these faces.
Oh, what? Full floater. It's terminated all around.
Most of it is coming right here, so probably going to be very close to this spot.
We have a vein over in this outcrop flowing down. I looked up there when I tried to place where I found that terminated piece, and I didn't see anything like what is coming from down here.
Look at the ones hanging off. And my lip glove.
It's completed.
So we're close.
Here, let me shine it in the light.
You found that there?
Yeah,
How are we gonna find it?
Here, we want to check
All
it
right,
out.
all right, good. Thank you for finding it. No, that's good.
The devil's in the details. Travis over here pulling out crystal after crystal. They just keep getting better now with a little more depth. Stellar crystal.
And almost double term.
We notice a change in soil chemistry. We're getting a lot more iron enrichment, specifically here. You can even see the top layer, and then it changes. Iron rich. Did that come from the iron rich?
Oh yeah.
Portion?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a tentative theory that there is a dike running from that bull quartz outcrop all the way down, supplying all of the silica to this vein, which is running laterally, where we are finding all of the crystals. Back to the spot. This is the slope, bull quartz at the top, and this is part two. Part one continued because we didn't find the deposit in part one. Travis is not here today, so it's just me and you. But I told him if it gets super exciting, then we'd split the pocket. These, that, and that, all of that came from this level, and then that one came from this level. What I'm doing is working up because I want to go until there is no more float. I'm finding in-place quartz. I'm finding pieces of apatite. I'm not moving it because we want to treat this like an archaeological site. Just beyond this clay, it becomes hard rock. The sun is about to set, so let's see if we can get into this. It's got to be here. That amount of quartz signifies that the crystals that we could find here could be big. This quartz has different character than that quartz up there. That's stark white, nearly opaque, milky quartz. It's different formation environment. Why is it good for there to be a different formation environment? Because none of that is terminated other than little vugs no bigger than 3 centimeters. Back again. That just dropped from where we're going, right up in here, and it looks like I see a flat face. And that's totally a face. Oh, and look at the back. Yeah. I got faces on everything. I think we're emerging. I can't draw conclusions yet, but this is really exciting. Up above this tree, there's nothing. So it just makes sense for it all to be right here. I gotta get that guy out. Yeah. It looks like this is the pocket. I'm just gonna show stuff that keeps getting better. This one from right in this area. So it's right where we were. Next, I see terminations or faces. We're in the sweet spot now. This one from here. The good stuff. Here we go. That is sexy. We know what's beneath it. We know what's around it. That is a good looking rock right there. Hello. We gotta get that out. And then that big flat. It's weird. So yeah, okay. No lies from the clay layer. And they wipe off. Getting there. DT. I am taking you home tonight and giving you the special treatment. Let's see what you're made of. Not bad. There's luster. Looking good. Nighttime is as good as any time. Even up here, check it, crystals. And DT. Oh, that's a crystal. Yeah, okay, this is actually turning out to be a really good pocket, so I gotta go let Travis know. Back with Travis, Noah, Gatlin, and Lily today. We're going at the pocket. We got a lot of people on deck, and on the way, we found quartz. First thing we pull out, you can see all types of crystal hieroglyphics. Always keeping eyes open. This is a double terminated sitting right on the surface. The thing is that we're right in line with the pocket that we're working today. So it could have come from it, but maybe not. Always be suspicious and ask questions along the way. There could be another pocket continuing from that quartz all the way up to this area up here. This one just came from there. Lots of unique celestial type growth, and we're continuing back. So we're just getting started here.
If the other side has a point, dude, it's gonna be like sweet.
Sweet. Working down from the top, trying to free this piece up. Travis just found this one. All good signs.
And maybe we'll get a full point out of it somehow.
Definitely the biggest face that's come out of here so far.
This one right here, though, is gonna be interesting. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I think it might. Yeah, that looks like
a full point.
That's pretty serious.
it's just an odd piece. That's cool. Yeah, you can see it's got terminations all over the every side that you look. So this is the floater. Yeah.
Sick. And about what position?
Just from this hole.
Awesome.
Nice good clay in that area. That would be what I would call pocket wall. Neat.
Coming from over here as well.
Take a look at this.
It's really Jimmy.
Yep. That's all bite for sure. A little juicier.
Yeah.
You can see it's got a point coming out here.
Yeah.
And then points going up. And if they are all little points on top, that would actually be kind of a neat piece. It might be connected to this because it's still in there. This piece on top. I mean, I can just see that that's a full smoky right back there.
Yeah. That's it.
That's a long crystal.
It's a crystal. No matter what angle you look at it from, that's a crystal.
Sweet. So sweet.
Travis just left. It's getting late. There's a couple more hours of light, tons of feldspar up top, and it's all just disintegrating. It's loose. Whoa! This came from right behind the DT crystal. It's looking ultra dark. Everything is so stuck. The pace is definitely slowed down. Okay. That might be a crystal. Face and face. Luster. Reclamation work complete, back to its original condition, and in the process, Earth provides. You miss a lot of things that you didn't see on the first run, like all of these, even complete quartzes, tabbies all day, celestial growth, and that big old crystal. So we can structurally identify how this pegmatite was forming in relation to that bull quartz outcrop, dike running down here, and then the pegmatite runs up this way. We're going to follow it. I'm going to show you how it runs parallel to the ridgeline. A little bit higher, vein coming from the pine all the way up. That boulder in the center of the frames sheared on the pegmatite, comes through here and then lines up this rock, and I'll show you again up here. I tested here. This is about the biggest crystals that were emerging. Actually, I mean, bigger for sure, this one, but it's not complete. These came from directly down. It was here. Vein continues up all the way to this site, which only produced small crystals, some with chlorite inclusions. As you can see, the quartz right there. Yeah, and look what he just pulled out, and we have luster. And the vein continues this way, up and over the next peak. The valley eroded the vein, but you can find it on the next peak over, and that's where we found the fluorite, which makes total sense because fluorite is a volatile. It's gonna race all the way to the end, and that's where we find it in relation to a pluton, and that's where we find fluorine and volatiles in relation to a pegmatite. Claimed 1, 2, and 3. Easy. The vein continues linearly. Evidence, 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 evidence. Continues this way, all the way to right there. And that's where the fluorite pocket is. Now you can see the fluorite vein on that boulder outcrop. It goes up. We were standing right at that snow patch looking up this face, and the aplite vein continues up and goes to right behind me where the fluorite pocket was, with the fluorite in the bottom and a lot of oxides precipitating onto the feldspar at the top. Continuing up, the vein narrows into about nothing. I'll put the fluorite video in the up top right now. It explains the morphology of this pegmatite on a very localized scale. Where was the fluorite occurring? Where is the iron occurring? And the feldspar most pronounced. Cheers. Post cleanup review and a little about the formation history of this specific pocket. Why do they look like they're still not clean? I've used 3 different reagents on them: hydrochloric acid, oxalic acid, and iron out. This is the iron out specimen, another iron out, iron out. This oxalic acid, which produces this white haze, the iron out does leave a reddish haze. So kind of pick your preference based on the reagent. And then hydrochloric acid for specimens like that, things that were purely quartz, but all produce a pretty similar finished effect. Beginning with the evolution of the pocket, Travis convinced me to bring these feldspars home and actually clean them, which they turn out to be beautiful. This is the albite that he pointed out. We're looking at the prism face now, catching the luster, and then now we're catching the terminations with the luster. They are translucent, and this is a major clue as to what mineral formed first, the feldspar. And then it was etched, likely by silicic or hydrofluoric acid, giving it this web-like appearance. And then the quartz came along, incorporating it into its structure, which you can see even on the bottom, same fingerprint of the feldspar. And this piece I did polish, so you can clearly see the evidence and similarity between the feldspar and then the quartz that grew over top of it. The only other inclusions are gas bubbles, which I did verify with a petrographic microscope, and then hematite, the primary oxide that we did find in this pocket. When the quartz was almost fully formed, you can see that there's layers of hematite trapped in it. That's because silica tetrahedra on a terminated face are basically at the lattice level, stacked like this, like steps, giving iron a place to bind to. Meanwhile, on the prism faces, and in this case a tabby crystal, but still a prism face, it's flat. It doesn't have space for the iron to be incorporated so easily. So that's why we get this preferential binding on the terminations of the crystal, giving them a hematite halo. Finally, surface weathering and iron precipitation just from surface processes did etch the crystals, and then the iron precipitated in these micro textures and half vesicles along the surfaces of the quartz. So that's why they will never be any more clean than what they are. And other notes Other notes are that we found about 4 times the material on the table. The others just didn't make it to the playoffs. Here's a few others. Transparency varied along the crystals. Cavitation is a process that did occur in this pocket because 5/6 of them are healed. Cavitation is when you have a static pressure environment that's gradually rising as erosion occurs on the surface, and this is the pocket becoming closer to the surface, and then it ruptures because there's a change in pressure on the pocket, breaking the crystals from their matrix or host, which this is a termination of a crystal, but as you can see on the back, it's completely healed. Some other examples, so many tabbies healed 5/6 of these crystals. It was really striking to see how much was healed. Celestial and skeletal growth on much of the quartz, and other notes are the varying degrees of transparency and the big variation in size. I'll show that big DT in just a second, but you can see that same hematite preferentially binding even on this really large floater. This is the very first quartz crystal discovered, and you can also see that hematite only binding on the termination. This was found directly beneath the pine tree, the largest tree, so this happened recently. And I say that because none of this is healed underneath, and all of the rest of the crystals that did break during the formation of the pocket are healed. Without further ado, let's go find another pocket.